me. They must be destroyed on Nick.
Right. Anyway, welcome back to Beer Analysis 101. We've been off for a couple of weeks, but we're back, and we're about to see what all the fuss is about. Tonight, we're taking... Oh, that was lame. Tonight, we're going to take a look at... Well, Greg thinks it's Irish beers. I kind of just said stouts or Irish stouts, but we'll say we're just doing stouts tonight. So let's see who we have with us. Starting off with Mr. Redbeard and Beardo. What did you bring with you tonight? And first of all, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? You look okay. Word. Big bong rip for the show. Midtown Brewing Co.'s Dry Irish Stout.
Yeah. I don't know if I've even had anything by this brewery before or this beer before, so there we go.
Nice. All right. Next up, we've got Lee. How you doing tonight, Lee?
Could be better. I don't know what the fuck's going on with my connection, but you guys are still like choppy as fuck.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, we can hear you okay. You're loud and clear.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to stick around though. Like it's literally making the conversation almost impossible.
Wow,
it sucks, man.
If you were to stick around, what beer did you bring?
It's called Hurla High Irish Stout from Tadamagouche Brewing.
Hurla.
Cool.
Sounds like that might be the winner tonight.
That's a weird. I've seen people with that last name, and it's a weird last name. All right, so that's from Tata's.
Yeah, it's named after some street in New Brunswick, apparently.
Oh. Okay. Why did they name it after New Brunswick? I have no idea.
Quispamsis Boulevard.
Tadamagouche Brewing isn't perfect. Even a great brewery sometimes fucks up a little bit. We'll name something after something in New Brunswick. It's just bound to happen.
Well,
right. All right. So let's move along to Mr. Greg. Hi, Greg.
Hello, Nick. I was enjoying a Mad Tom IPA, but that's not what we're here to discuss, Nick. We're here to discuss. Well, I thought it was an Irish stout. I mean, I could be that guy, and I could just bring a double Tempest now, since apparently any stouts are allowed. But since I went and bought this anyway, and I don't think I've ever had this beer before, I'm having an O'Hara's Irish Stout, which is really one of two choices I had, the other being a Guinness. So I know I've had Guinness on this show before. I don't think I've had this at all.
I've never even heard of that.
Or not. So neither did I until I looked it up at the LCBO, and it was like, oh, there we go.
Oh, it's actually from craft brewed in Ireland. It's actually like a wow.
Yep.
Yeah, they're one of the other major stout brands in Ireland.
I was going to say Murphy's. Probably going to be kind of close to Guinness.
I've had that one numerous times, and I've had that one numerous times, and I find it a bit more robust than your typical Guinness.
Show us the Cascade.
Do it. Crash that. That's a nice pour. That's better than the shitty pour I got in this Guinness here.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I could watch that all day. Nitro beers look so cool when they cascade like that, and then you take a drink and it's flat, and it pisses me off.
I like nitro beers. I mean, they're not usually the most flavorful, but just to have something to, sip at a pub or something, and you don't want to get annihilated. I mean, I assume
I've definitely kind of come around. I don't mind them. Like even a pint of Guinness I can handle, whereas before I'd be like, oh, this is just wrong and nasty. But that looks pretty cool.
That's a nice pour.
Looks wise, it's looking good. Well, I think last time I did a nitro stout, Chris was on, and he scolded me for not being aggressive enough with my pour, so I had to redeem myself. So if Klizak is watching,
I got
we don't even have any viewers right now, so
I got a nitro beer from Cowbell that I think was just released that I purchased as well. It's in the fridge. It's a nitro beer with widget technology, apparently. Should be interesting.
Yeah, this one has the fixed thing at the bottom that does it? Because I think Guinness has the actual. They got the ball in there, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones that. Yeah, this one has the fixed widget or whatever it is at the bottom. I think that's the same thing Mill Street Cobblestone uses.
As long as it works, that's all that
Yeah,
matters.
it's like attached to the bottom physically or something, and it pops up when the pressure changes in the can.
Yeah.
Whereas this thing's got that thing that rolls around.
I think Guinness actually patented theirs, so I think that's why no one else can use it.
Right.
They had a different shaped one that they had in their bottles of beer at one point. I think when they first started doing it.
The thing I always remember is fucking Dr. Dave, the beer professor, when he reviewed Guinness Stout way back in the day. It had the widget in the can, and he was so fucking stupid he thought it was a piece of ice in the can.
Oh, I remember that.
That's actually really funny.
Remember where the bottles, like draft bottles of Guinness, had the widget down at the bottom of it, and they removed it because it was a choking hazard because they'd come out of the bottle.
Yeah.
I didn't mention the choking hazard thing, but I did just mention that. So thank you, Nick.
All right. Okay, so thank you, Greg. Let's put me up on here, and I guess I'm gonna actually put this out there to say people can hold me to it. I don't know if I did say Irish Stout or I just said Stout last week, but since I do technically have I have a regular Stout and an Irish Stout sitting on my table in front of me, should I keep with the theme and just go Irish Stout, or should I drink the Stout that I had?
Is the Irish Stout Guinness?
Might be.
Jesus. No, do the other one.
I was like, do the other one since we've done Guinness on the show quite a few times.
Yeah, it's kind of the thought. I was just drinking a Guinness before the show. I'm like,
who's holding us accountable anyway at this point? Like, come on.
We need to hold ourselves accountable. Right?
Yeah, but we never do though, so that's the problem.
Anyway, this I got at the brewery that I stopped at over the weekend outside of Fredericton. This is from Maybe Brewing Co. 11 Z's Espresso Stout, 5.5% ABV. I don't know if it's actually like an Irish style, but it's obviously made with coffee I can't remember where the coffee came from. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, that's our stories. We don't have any comments. We have 2 viewers. Whoever's out there wants to ask any questions or tell us what you're drinking, go right ahead. In the meantime, I'm going to circle back and go to Carrie and say, hey, Carrie,
hey,
what's
Nick,
your history with the beer that you brought?
That much. Wait, now. That much.
Nice. And now that much.
The history is you were watching history right now.
There you go. History is unfolding inside of Redbeard's mouth.
Oh boy, that sounds sexy.
All right, let's go over to Lee.
As long as he's not foaming at the mouth.
Right. All right, let's go to Lee and ask, what's your history with Hurley High? Dry Irish from Tattagouche.
So I had it for the first time basically last week when I got my order in from Tattagouche. I guess it's a seasonal of theirs. Might be brand new. I don't know if they've ever made it before. But it was just like anticipating, oh yeah, we're probably going to do like an Irish themed something this month. So I should have something for that. And also International Women's Day was this month. So I got another beer that they made especially for this month or whatever. Yeah, but it was just, it was an option in my latest package that I ordered from them. So that's what I did, and I have had it and reviewed it on my channel, but I've only had it a couple times. I only ordered 3 cans or whatever in the package. So
yeah, you can check out that review, folks, over at the High Tide and Vibe YouTube channel.
Wouldn't recommend it, but it's fun.
Hey, if you're interested in everything that's new in the maritime beer world, then he's your guy.
Yeah,
maritime beer news right there for you.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I'm largely retired from doing reviews themselves. I'll be back. Don't worry. Alrighty, so let's go over to who got left. Gregory. Let's get Gregory to talk about his history with O'Hara's, which I also already gotten on.
Much like I haven't actually checked it on tap, so I could be lying, but I have no memory of having this beer before, and that's my history kind of right there. And I always forget and this goes for really anything nitro, is that my goodness, it drinks so quickly. Like this is basically 2.5 sips,
like water.
And I'm not somebody, I can't chug beer, but I can drink this very quickly.
Yeah, that what you just took was not a sip, though. Just say that was a
That was
gulp.
It's a sip for Greg.
That was a good
That's,
gulp right there.
Well, I'll have you know I'm Polish, and that's a sip in our culture.
Fair enough.
Agnes's dad, he doesn't drink so much anymore, but Agnes's dad was notorious back in the day where he never wanted a beer that was different than his own. He always wanted, whatever he was having. He wasn't adventurous, but he'd always try your beer. But when he tried your beer, he'd drink like half of it in one gulp. I'd be like, oh.
Nice.
Is that Marson?
No, not Marson, although Marson probably could too, but no, it was Agnes's dad.
Agnes.
Oh.
Her dad, not her daddy, Nick.
That'd be daddy. It'd be you or the dude at the sex club.
Wow, it could be either one, I suppose.
Why not?
I like to make Marson her honorary daddy, though. He's a good guy.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Let's talk about my history with maybe
weirdly sentimental.
11Z's Espresso Stout. I'm actually trying to remember what my history with this. I'm pretty sure maybe has been around since like 2015, 16, I think. And this is one of the there it is. When did I review this? I must have had it a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Okay, I'll be honest. I'm not sure if I've ever done a review for this. I'll have to look it up and say it if I did. I know that I had 11Z's Espresso Stout way back in May of 2016 when I had it probably for the first time. And I remember it being quite tasty. So, and yeah, so I had several beers from these guys here. I actually opted to go to this place rather than Trail my most recent visit up to Fredericton because most trailways I can get here now. Strangely enough. And these guys make some decent beer too. All right, so let's go to the comments. We had none.
Yeah.
Come on, folks, shape it up here. Give us some comments. We got 3 people watching. Let us know what you're drinking. I'm gonna pan out to here to do general chat so we can talk amongst yourselves. Until we start to either get comments or we get bored and want to start talking about the beer we bought.
I like nitro beers. I think they're underrated. I think they're great beers for just drinking a whole lot of.
I want to see like a bourbon barrel aged like 11.9% nitro beer.
I think that'd be fucking fantastic. I mean, that would be.
I want to see somebody just like do a sour nitro beer,
man.
Well, listen, I know the protection thing of this is an amazing stout. Don't nitro it'll kill the flavor, but maybe do something like for instance, Dragon's Milk. Actually, I should check. Maybe they have.
How about a nitro IPA?
Like Dragon's Milk is plentiful. You can buy it at any grocery store in the U.S. So it's like make a nitro version of it so we can try it. I'd love that.
Well, Dragon's Milk's like a milk stout,
how is there not a brewery that just like solely does nitro versions of other stuff? I don't know.
Because it's gimmicky as fuck and they'd go to business. That's why.
Yeah, not if they made them tasty.
Like innocent gun and barrel aging.
Like I don't know.
There is a Dragon's Milk Nitro. Let's see what it is ABV wise.
Yeah, it's called Left Hand Nitro Milk Stout.
No, but that's just Carrie wants like an Imperial 11% nitro beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, again, just like I want to see somebody.
I feel like
a nitro sour sounds like that could be interesting.
If you want high ABV. If you want high ABV stout, it's going to be a big bold taste, and I feel like nitro just rounds that boldness off.
Yeah,
it's good for a nice, easy drinking stout like Guinness or even O'Hara's. But I mean, I feel like for an Imperial stout, it would probably make it weird.
I feel like I need to buy myself a physics machine, or maybe if Chris might be. Yeah, maybe Chris will sell me his machine because it sounds like he's simplifying his life. So maybe I'll get a physics machine and I'll dump a double Tempest in it and see how that goes.
Oh, that doesn't quite nitro the beer. It does some sound wave technology weird shit that.
Well,
But it was still they would change the.
if you can recommend a different device that nitros a beer better, you let me know. Otherwise, I have to work with what I got.
That's fair enough. But get yourself an actual canister of nitrogen and a little hose and bubble it into the beer slowly. I don't know.
I'm sure there's a way to do it if I actually bothered to learn. By the way, I'm drinking my IPA because I need to like save a little bit of this.
What a waste of time just to ruin beer. That's
You know, I'm not disagreeing. Like, I'm not a fan of nitro. I think it'd be interesting to have different options to try. I don't know.
I think like everything else, it has a place. Like if you're looking for maximum flavor, sure, okay, you're not looking for a nitro beer, but if you're just looking to knock a few back at the bar, like it's an option.
It's fair enough.
Well, I mean, this beer apparently there's a nitro version on tap at like Tadamagush's tap room, so
it's kind of cool.
I find like nitro beers can be hit or miss because it all depends on like how much nitro they've stuffed into the beer. Like I feel like there's some beers just don't go far enough with the nitro if you're gonna do it, because Guinness stuffs a lot of nitro in there, like where it's got that big widget that's full of the gas and just blows up when you open the can. I mean, if it's just sitting there, you open the can and it'll just literally start filling up over. But then you get all the other beers that are basically like nitrogen infused. They sometimes don't even have a widget. It's just canned with nitrogen. You open up the can and it's just, well, what's so nitrogen about it?
Might be a local brewery here did an attempt at a nitro stout, and it was pretty terrible. No widget, no nothing like it. I think what you just said. I think they like.
Well, yeah, it's like both Trailway and Picaroons here have done a nitro version of their stouts, like Timberhog with Picaroons and Beans for Trailway, and it just didn't come off as being enough nitrogen. Yeah, and it really didn't give you that nitrogenated effect when you poured the beer.
What Lee said,
like as Cobblestone,
what Lee said as far as his beer he's drinking, and they actually have a nitro version at the brewery. They're probably infusing it properly.
Yeah, that might be different.
Yeah, as opposed, I assume the cost of canning a nitro beer with some kind of widget technology, that probably adds a decent amount of cost to the overall production of that beer.
Yeah,
like they probably get the can it with nitrogen like a normal like brewery of the people, not like expensive stuff like Guinness. They'd actually have to, when they pour the beer into the can, nitrogenate it there, maybe pressurize it a little before the cap goes on.
That's the thing. How do you pressurize before the cap goes on? That just doesn't.
Yeah, it's true.
And make a new kind of beer can that on the top it actually has like the thing on your on your car tire or whatever, your bike tire, and you fucking.
Yeah. It might be a different story if it's on tap, because I mean, just like carbonation for beer. I mean, most breweries have to serve it with CO2 in order to spike
they use beer. It's actually a specific gas called beer gas. It's like it's mostly CO2, but pure CO2 isn't the best. There's actually beer gas, it's called, that they use in most bars and stuff for the beer.
Sounds sexy.
It was weird when I first discovered it was a thing. That's an interesting sound your snoring dog is making.
It's not my snoring dog. I don't know what you just heard. It wasn't me.
I'm still hearing it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe it is Arnold. I couldn't even hear it with the headphones.
I hear somebody's dog.
Okay, hold on.
I'm looking at mine right there. He does not make noises like that.
Okay, yeah, no, it's Arnold. I can't even hear him with my headphones on. I'm surprised you guys can hear him. But yeah, he is over there snoring.
Well, your headphones are canceling him out a bit, whereas for us, we're getting almost
That's
more
Bella,
amplified.
but she's not snoring. But there's Arnold all the way over there on the other couch. He's snoring. That's Arnold's couch.
Good bike.
Hey, you know what? These are not terrible headphones for I think they cost me $20 on Amazon. They're not bad. The only thing I'll say is I don't know if it's the headphones fault or something else, but when I'm trying to watch a movie on my iPad, the sound is always off. Like lip sync is always off. And if I take the headphones off, it's fine. So I don't know if that's the headphones fault or if it's something else's fault, but that's the only problem I've noticed with these. But otherwise, $20, well spent.
Hear Greg in amazing clarity.
There you go. Yeah. And that's what everyone wants, is to hear my annoying voice in surround sound.
7.1
surround Greg.
Yeah. Well, speaking of getting wet, how are we doing on our beers?
I'm ready to talk about mine, I think.
I could probably talk about beer.
So this is, it's 4.5%. It's pretty much just prototypical, like, well done craft version of an Irish stout. There's like no bells and whistles at all. It's just got a very kind of mellow coffee, like almost green coffee, but mellow, very, very mellow in like both the aroma and the taste. It's mostly just roast, and it's a nice light dry roast to it. You get a little bit of sweetness in the actual taste, but it usually just moves pretty much right to the dryness. Not complex, not a lot of notes. You're not really looking for that in an Irish dry stout. Like it's just basic. Like Irish dry stout is basically just basic bitch stout. Like this is kind of what Guinness should taste like if it was like not a mass-produced, bitched up, weakened piece of shit that it is these days.
Wow.
And it's just really good. Like I can't in good conscience like give it higher scores than like a 7.5, but it's one of those ones where it's like, hey, you want an Irish stout? Here's one, and it fits the bill. It checks all the fucking boxes, but it doesn't do anything extra or exceptional or anything like that. It's just good. So I'd say 7.5 for style, and my own personal preference 7.5 as well, because it's like, yeah, if this was on my shelf in the NSLC and I needed a decent stout, I mean the body on it's like, upper light bodied approaching medium, so like that kind of puts it head and shoulders above most standard stouts I run into these days, where it seems like a lot of them are like really thin, like way too thin for some reason. This one at least has a little bit of heft to it. So like, yeah, if I saw it on my shelf in the NSLC, I'd buy it. And like I said on my review, I wouldn't necessarily order it again from Tad and Magoosh. I'm not that desperate for an Irish stout, but it'd be a nice option to have on the shelf if they ever decide to like mass produce it, make it a year-round thing or whatever.
Right on. Thanks, Lee. Let's go back to the top of the pecking order and then pick out Redbeard. Redbeard, what's your thoughts on your beer?
Kind of echoing a lot of what Lee said. It's just like this is just I haven't had a lot of dry Irish stouts. It's not a style I really seek out. They're usually a little on the lower ABV side. I like my stouts to be a little more punchy. This is
11.9%.
At least. This fits the bill as far as like mouthfeel. Generally a bit thin for dry Irish stout. A little bit of coffee flavor. It's not bad. It's just not something I really go for. Like, I'm sure if you like a dry Irish stout, this would be something to pick up quite often. But personally, it just isn't something I gravitate towards. I'd say style-wise, I'd give that like a 9. It's a really well-made example of the style. Personal enjoyment, I'll go 7.5. It's not bad. It's decent.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheers. All right. Let's see. We'll go to everybody's favorite Greg.
I am the best Greg in the room right now, and
so it's lowest common denominator.
I like to win by default. I'm Agnes's only husband, therefore I'm her best husband. So go by that logic. I like this overall. So again, I'm going to say, first of all, this is nitroed, so it's a little different than just a regular old Irish stout. Irish stout, definitely not something I gravitate towards, although when I have them, I usually tend to enjoy them. I do find basically if I'm comparing this to, Guinness, I'd say if you've had a Guinness, this isn't that different. It is better. I'd say it's got a little bit more flavor going to it. Guinness just comes off as very flavorless, which kind of, you can kind of just drink a whole lot of them and not worry about it. Because I made the mistake a couple weeks back. I think we were having a hangout with Lee. Well, Nick was there and Lee and Redbeard. Actually, the same group we got here. Then Nick went to bed and I continued chatting and drinking with these guys. And I decided that was going to be my night where I didn't have any beer in the fridge. So I was just going to pull shit out of my cellar and drink it. And I ended up drinking 4 Imperial Stouts in a night. Jesus. They were all delicious. They're all delicious, but I felt fucking awful the next day. So sometimes something like Guinness can be beneficial, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it's like, it's not necessarily the alcohol that gets me. It's sometimes if something's just too flavorful, like it almost like the flavor, if you have too much of it, will get to your stomach. But like, it's like you like food's great, but like, you eat, I don't know, you like a steak, but if you eat 3 steaks, you may not feel too great the next day type thing. So, I don't know. Like, I actually do think like Guinness is a product that is designed for a certain thing, and I do like Guinness. Generally speaking, it's not a flavorful beer, but it has a purpose in life. This is kind of along the same lines, but it's like, hey, I want to say a little bit more flavorful, so you get a little bit more chocolate, sweet chocolate, nothing dark, a little bit more vanilla in this. Otherwise, it's kind of the same deal as Guinness. Like, it's very easy drinking. Like, at this point, it's almost room temperature. It still tastes pretty good. Like, I quite enjoy this. So, coming from the perspective of somebody who likes nitro beers, I'd say this is pretty good. Is it the best one I've ever had? I don't know. I don't really remember all the nitro beers I've had. But I do think this is better than Cobblestone Stout. It's probably not as good as what the vanilla porter used to be from Mill Street, but we all know Mill Street has kind of gone down the toilet in the last few years. Last time I had vanilla porter, it was not so great. And I do think I like left-hand stout more than this, but again, it's been a few years since I've had it, so I can't really do a fair comparison. So, yeah, overall for me, I mean, I'm going to rate this as a nitro Irish stout, or Irish-inspired stout, however you want to put it. Like I said, I got no problems with this for what it is. So for its style, I'm going to give it a 9. It's and for the record, I would give Guinness an 8. So take that for what it is. Like for style, I'd give Guinness an 8. So you can take that whether you consider my opinion or not. And as a personal enjoyment beer, you know what? I'm going to give it a solid 8 as well. I'm actually quite enjoy this. If I had another one, I would happily drink it. I'm actually going to crack open a Guinness in a second to see if my opinion actually holds water, or if my brain is trying to trick me or not.
Like water.
But yeah, I'll let you know in a second if I agree with myself. But yeah, that's what I'm saying right now. This to me is a 9 and an 8. I mean, it's very simple. It's a specialized product. It's like I say, I don't know who the hell is making that noise, but that's quite something.
I hear it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It sounds like the Eye of Sauron just found me, and it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
I should put the ring on. Yeah, whatever
maybe,
that is.
That's my mic volume. I just turned up my mic volume because I thought I was quiet, and all of a sudden I must be making a noise.
You're fine.
It sounds like we can suddenly hear your soul.
Yeah,
Yeah,
weird.
your grumbling burpy soul.
Oh
boy.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well played.
Hold on, I'm gonna give a quick comparison.
Oh, with chalet sauce.
I mean, no, there's no chalet sauce. But listen, you guys get to see another cascade.
Nitro infused chalet sauce.
Guinness is a chalet
Nitro
sauce of Irish toast.
Chalet sauce, nitro chalet sauce on tap.
Yeah, will it physics?
That has a weird brown color to it compared to the other beer for some reason.
Well, yeah, it's not as pretty in real life.
Yeah,
this is more black. The other one was a little bit more brownish. So
I want to say the other beer cascaded a lot more sexy.
Yeah, there was
like
a lot more sexier Cascade on that O'Hara's.
I don't know.
Well,
It might have something to do with you not rinsing the glass.
That's what I'm
maybe?
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It could have. I also could have pussyfooted a little bit. I wasn't quite as aggressive with the pour as I was in the first
no, you
one.
were straight
Oh,
down.
it's
It
probably
was,
because you lack of aggression. So
Yeah.
I poured a Guinness and had it before the show here, and
Well,
I got like no Cascade at all. I'm like,
Guinness
what the
needs to put
fuck?
their beer in like a squeezable can, so you can just like open it and just.
This is like ketchup. Yeah,
Yeah.
get yourself some purple Guinness.
so I stand by what I say. I mean, if I were to give this a rating off the top of my head right now, it's probably about a 7. 7.
All right. Yeah, okay.
Maybe like a 7.58 for style, if I'm starting to compare it to other nitros. But yeah, this is a perfectly serviceable beer. It's not overly flavorful, but again, if you're looking for flavor, this is not your beer. This is your pub beer. You know, you have to remember a lot of this stuff. I've been to Ireland before. Granted, I wasn't drinking age at the time, but I've been to Ireland before, and Irish people, literally, and we're at family's place, so small town, like probably 500 people live in the town, maybe 1,000 now. I don't know. 5, 6 o'clock, no one's fucking at home having supper with their not parents, their wives, their children, I suppose parents too. No, 6 o'clock. Everyone walks to the pub. That's what Irish culture does. Everyone goes to the fucking pub at 6 o'clock every day of the week. At least that's how it was when I went there.
Oh yeah,
And
they're all notorious alcoholics, and they're all dumb as fuck.
They are, but again, they're drinking stuff like this, or they're drinking English bitters and stuff like that. And you know, at the end of the day, I mean, this is the kind of beer you want. You just, hey, I'm gonna go. If you're gonna go every night drinking and you're gonna have, you know, beer, you're probably not gonna want to knock back 7-8% beers. You're gonna want to knock back something like this. That hey, I can have 6 of these, and nobody drives there because everyone's walking distance from the pub. But you know, at least you can stumble back and not get completely lost. I mean,
Yeah. Also notorious for fingering sheep.
Piggybacking on what Lee said.
Jesus Christ.
no, I've never heard of that, but
There's a comic or something that I've read or saw. It might have been, I feel like maybe it was a Skid and Robot Chicken or something like that, where like the Irish were like the smartest people on the planet. And then they created whiskey and just
Oh, that was,
destroyed the entire fucking society.
that was I think a Family Guy joke.
That could have been it. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Well,
I think that was an old
animated.
Family Guy.
I'll say
It
this
was
for the
pretty funny.
Irish. I'll say this for the Irish. They at one time were the smartest people in Ireland until they started letting other cultures in.
Jesus Christ, Lee.
Jesus Christ. All right. That's the one.
Lee
have
ever the
lost 2
diplomat.
viewers 'cause of
Being
that.
taken down for hate speech.
All right, so I guess I have to follow that bullshit up. So yeah, my beer is about as, I don't know, Irish as I am, but
You're pretty
hey,
Irish,
this
Nick.
was canned on wow. This can was canned on the 6th of March. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
So this is like a week old. And it's fucking tasty. It does have some characteristics of your Irish dry stout, I guess. It does have a very drying finish. It's got that kind of like bold but not over the top. It's got the right amount of body. It actually kind of drinks really similarly to other Irish dry stouts that I've had. It's technically classified as an American stout with coffee, but I find this thing drinks really well, where it's got a nice like chocolatey coffee espresso coffee finish, drying, but it leaves a lingering coffeeness, and like coffeeness, is that a word, in the back of the palate as it goes away. And of course I'm making short work of this thing. This is actually, I really need to buy more of these. Because I kind of got away from buying them, and I really love coffee beers, but this one here is regularly available in New Brunswick, and this is a very fucking solid coffee beer. I think the only coffee beer that I like better than this is Trailways Beans, but that goes without saying. This is really close, and getting it fresh like this is surprisingly closer than I thought. Like, I'm enjoying the hell out of this thing. I give it a 9 for style, an 8.5 for personal enjoyment. So that's pretty good. Now, I mean, that said, it's not technically speaking an Irish stout, so my mileage may vary on my opinion. I did want to say something about the O'Hara's because the Greg Scott, because I used to get that O'Hara's here, the non-nitro version, and I used to love that. I loved it better than Guinness. Just last year they brought in
Definitely
that
better than Guinness.
same one that you've got, the nitro version, and I'm not sure if there's any of it left in New Brunswick, but I remember the nitro version being pretty damn solid as well. So
it was weirdly hard to get here too. I mean, it wasn't hard to get. I had to literally drive 3 minutes, but like even then, like
it was
like
within 5 kilometers. So then
it was
you're
within
okay.
5 kilometers, but it was like they only had a few of them left, so obviously it was very popular. So in fact, the LCBO told me they had 7, and by the time I got there, they got 4, and now they have 3 after I bought one.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Double ooh.
I'm gonna take a look and see if I can still get it here, but I'm willing to bet if I can find it anywhere around here, it's probably from last year.
Actually, doing them back to back, yeah, no, the O'Hara is vastly superior to the Guinness.
Yeah.
The Guinness comes off as very tobacco-y almost. Like I feel like this Guinness would go well with a cigar.
Apparently, there's 1 can left in Fredericton. I could go there right now and
Go get it, Nick.
no, that's probably inventory error. But yeah, it's kind of like, come on, Andy Liquor, bring in more of that shit. I love that shit.
Yeah, if LCBO tells you there's 1, there's 0.
Yep, it means that some hobo has got it under their jacket, or some teenager.
I'll tell you, the guys I've seen shoplift at the LCBO usually aren't hobos. They're usually just guys that look totally fine, other than they just walk around wearing backpacks.
Oh, did you see that in like parts of Ontario that Loblaws is now cracking down on shoplifters by like requiring you scan your receipt before you leave the store, so the gate won't open unless you scan the code on your receipt.
I did see something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like they're cracking down on J-Rock gank and groceries.
I'm not sure. I've been curious to know how legal that is because so legally they're not allowed to ask you to look at your receipt unless it's a place like Costco where it's a membership you pay for, because then it's a private membership. Then they're allowed to ask you for your receipt. But a regular grocery store, if they ask you to look at your receipt, you can just say no, and legally they're not like they can't force you to show them your receipt.
Well, it's probably like, so the gate opens, you have to scan your receipt, but that's still bullshit because what about fire code? What if there's a fire in the store, people have to get out?
That seems, well, usually with fires like that, usually with any kind of fire, they probably have it hooked up to the fire system. So if a fire happens, usually the gates just automatically will open. That's typically how fire systems work. But yeah, I mean, there's really nothing stopping you. Like I can't imagine it's that sophisticated that you couldn't just fucking jump over. So if you're gonna steal groceries anyway, just up and over.
Yeah, at Sobeys, we can't. At Sobeys, it's store policy that no employee stops anybody. Like if even if you suspect someone's stealing, you let them steal and then you call the cops as soon as they leave.
Yeah, because you're
or you get the in-store security guard.
Yeah, like you can't stop the person from leaving and stealing because if it comes down to personal assault, the store's liable for any injuries.
Yeah, and also because Sobeys cares about its employees, it doesn't want you to get hurt or whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Ultimately, if you get murdered on your way out, it's going to cost them a lot more if your family sues them over your death than it is over the $15 of groceries that the guy got away with.
And also, I look at it this way: there's no way I'm fucking putting my health at risk for the store I work for. That's especially considering the profits they make. Fuck that.
No, and the reality is this: if you call the security guard, you're always going to get that security guard that thinks he's a cop and wants to tackle the bad guy. But the reality is, security companies tell their guys too. They say, observe, get as much detail as you can about him, record him if you can, but don't do anything to physically stop him.
The guy that's our security guard looks like he's probably like a commissionaire or whatever on the base or something part time. He looks like if he tried to stop anyone physically, he would have a corner area like right there and just drop.
Yeah, I know and actually the thing is, if you're a security guard and they tell you, because I used to be a supervisor for security, and basically like you can get guys will get fired over, like if you try to stop a robbery in progress, they'll fire you because they'll be like, you did more than you're supposed to do. So
yeah. Well, you're endangering yourself in the process.
Fun fact. You're
We
not
did
you're not
something like
supposed
that.
to move stuff either. Like if somebody asks you, hey, can you help me move a piece of furniture? You're supposed to say no as a security guard. And if you move that piece of furniture and you fuck up your back, you can get fired over it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Going back to the shoplifting thing, that happened once with when I was at Staples. There was like two guys out in a car and one guy in the store, like two guys out in a getaway car, and then one guy in this, or a couple guys in the store looking at stuff to steal. And the managers caught on to what was going on, but they told us like, don't get involved, don't stop them from taking anything, but just watch them. Like watch them like a hawk. So anytime they like one of them would wander into our department, we'd be like following them around but at a distance. They go into a different department, another guy follows them. There's just like keeping an eye on this guy, and eventually we ended up actually delaying him long enough. The cops showed up and then caught them. And they caught the guy that was stealing stuff, and the getaway car got away. Something like that. This is like something that happened almost 20 years ago.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. All right. So let's we got Justin Tinker in the comments, tinkering around the comments, saying, "Be careful not to choke on that coffiness." Well, I guess I won't hurry hard to the end of the can then. All right. So let's circle back around and start off with Redbeard with of all the beers you heard here tonight. Which one would you rather have had?
Probably.
Lee?
Just like
All
to compare the. Was yours also a dry Irish stout or just Irish?
Just said Irish stout, I guess. Didn't
Yeah.
it? Let me see. Yeah, just Irish stout.
Okay. I still would be
Irish.
interested to compare. So.
Although I think the fucking description on the website says dry Irish stout. You know, whatever.
Isn't it basically kind of the default when they make an Irish stout?
pretty
Dry
much,
Irish?
yeah.
Yeah. So that. Yeah. So I choose Lee.
All right. Let's go over to Lee and say, Lee, of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have had?
I would just bounce right back and say I would have chosen Carrie's.
Cheers.
All right. Oh, there I'm finally getting the Guinness Cascade. There we go.
Did that can all even fit in there?
Nope. There's still a little bit left, but look at the head. Like you're supposed to pour it all the way in, but if I did that, that would have been over on my desk.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, why isn't that the can, the glass that came with the gift pack? That they're not going to make a glass big enough for the whole beer, but yeah, it is. Good job.
All right, so Lee votes for Carrie.
Maybe.
So, Greg, of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have had?
I'm going to vote strategically here because I could potentially have a winner here, but you know what? Just for fun. I mean, let's be honest; these are all light stouts or Irish stouts or whatever. So I don't really care about any of them, to be honest. So you know, I could vote for Lee, and then Lee would win. But yeah, I think it'll be more interesting to vote for Nick, and then Nick has to pick the winner. So I'm going to vote for Nick.
Okay.
Even though Nick's is like, you know, the one that does drastically probably taste different than mine and Lee's.
Yeah, I would probably say that mine drastically tastes different than yours.
Maybe I'm looking for a drastically different taste.
Fair
There
enough.
you go.
All right, so
Now, that would have been a thing to say instead of just flat out explaining your trying to fuck everything up thing that you just did there. So.
Well, I mean, I have my priorities, and I'm a very honest guy, so I don't want to lie to you all.
Well played. Well played.
All right, let's put me back up in the middle of the screen here and say which one would I rather have had. I don't know. I like that O'Hara's, Greg.
Oh shit!
I know
Nick
it's
could
one
fuck
that
up
I've
my
had
plan.
before. Yeah, I'm foiling your plan by voting for you, Greg.
Oh no! Do we have any viewers? Do we have any viewers who can be the tiebreaker?
We just have Justin Tinker.
Are you still there, Justin? We need you.
You.
The guy who let's look at the guy who doesn't drink beer to vote.
Yeah, the guy doesn't drink any beer to pick the winner. I don't know. I should really be fair and say I don't like Greg's not actually going to win. I'm not going to win either. So why don't I
Well, I was gonna say
I
there's
can't
a
vote for
fun,
myself.
there's a fun way we can do this. Let's go
What's that?
around again, and everyone gets a second vote, but you can't vote for the one you voted
Okay.
for before.
All right. Carrie, pick what's your choice number 2?
I guess Greg, because I've had Guinness and I'd like to compare it to Guinness.
All right. Let's go over to Lee. Choice 2.
Nick.
Okay. And Greg, choice 3.
Lee.
I knew this was going to happen.
This can happen far too many times.
Oh, Jesus. All right, so
Oh, now it's up to
I gotta
Nick
get
to
my numbers straight. I gotta get my math straight here. Like Harry, Craig.
I think
You know what?
everyone has 2 votes at this point except for Carrie, I believe. I think Carrie has 1 vote.
Yeah, Carrie only has 1 vote, but I'm voting for Lee. So
There we go. Yeah,
that means Lee is the winner tonight. Good thing you stuck around.
Yeah, look at all the fame and glory you got by sticking around for another half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It worked out for you, man.
all that experience.
Something I'll remember.
What are you going to do with your fabulous prize of
You'll remember it for all
pride?
time, at least until next week.
Oh, man. It's all too much to take in all at once.
Well, you know.
No.
All right. Okay, so yeah, let me find my mouse here and pan out to
Double click that
section
mouse.
here. Yeah, we decided nobody's actually asked the question. Nobody's actually in the comments to ask the question for next week. So I'm just gonna say, fuck it, let's talk about it.
Hey
We
Nick,
had
what is
planned-
next week's beer?
There we go. Greg asked as the question. Let's say next week's beer is going to be another one of these BYOB style nights, but it's going to be belated International Women's Day. So pick a beer from a brewery that's got a woman brewmaster. It's in honor of Women's Day. Has a woman brewery, or even reminds you of a woman, right? That
Or
could
if,
go
it's,
a
or,
lot of
if
places.
or if it's sexist. If it's a
Yeah,
sexist
if
beer,
it's a can of giant titties on it.
yeah, why not?
That's it. It could have a picture of a woman on it. So it's just I would say loose interpretation, not loose vagina.
Wow. I mean, hey, listen, loose vaginas are there for a reason too, Nick. Some people are just bigger than others.
Oh, come on, Molly. Show us your whisker biscuit.
Big wieners. Big wieners need big vaginas to accommodate. You know,
Pick a wiener tonight.
It's all a yin and a yang. You know, you got the yin going and the yang.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we're here to discuss the birds and the bees. You know, and since Lady Lee's not here, I just assume she agrees with everything I say.
Sure. All right, I think we're done for the night. So I want to thank the 2 people for watching.
Penis.
And you get a close up of Carrie's penis.
We all want to see his ginger penis.
I'll be on Discord shortly, Justin, if you're still there.
It's a nice penis.
Have a good night, folks. Penis.
Peter killed those women.
There you go.